I want to tell you the incredible story of how Hinduism survived outside of India. But while that's my history, the Hindu struggle to maintain its presence in the world is something all of our ancestors have fought for. This here is my Nani and Nana, my mom's parents. This here is my Aji and Aja, my father's parents. All four of them were born in the island of Trinidad and Tobago. My parents ended up leaving Trinidad in the 1970s. They migrated to Canada, where I was born. I am the descendant of Indian indentured laborers who sacrificed everything to keep their Hindu identity. Their journey began with the abolition of slavery in the 19th century, and it marked the start of a new system of labor, indentureship. Today, I want to share this story with you. The abolition of slavery in the 19th century across the British Empire and other European colonies created a significant demand for labor in plantation economies, particularly in the Caribbean, Fiji, and Mauritius. To address this need, colonial powers instituted the system of indentured labor, which brought hundreds of thousands of Indians to these regions under contractual agreements known as indentureship. The vast majority of these laborers were Hindu, roughly 80%, and they faced harsh working conditions and also the challenge of maintaining their religious and cultural identity. These societies were often dominated by European Christian norms. Mauritius became the first British colony to receive Indian indentured laborers on a large, organized scale with the arrival of the ship Atlas in 1834. In 1838, the ships Whitby and Hesperus arrived in what was known as British Guyana, marking the beginning of Indian indenture in the Caribbean. In 1845, the Fatal Razak set sail and arrived on the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. That same year, Indians arrived in Jamaica. Between 1815 and 1860, ships arrived in Grenada, St. Lucia, South Africa, and St. Vincent. In 1873, following a treaty between the British and the Dutch, the first ship Lalarook arrived, starting Indian indenture under Dutch rule in what is now known as Suriname. The first Indians arrived in Fiji in 1879. The last ship to bring Indians to Guyana and Trinidad arrived in 1917, and the British abolished the indentureship system on January 1st, 1920. But while indentureship ended, the struggles of the Indians were just beginning. Did you ever wonder why my name is Sean? It's something that I get asked a lot. British colonial authorities in Guyana and Trinidad implemented aggressive policies that aimed at dismantling the Indian cultural identity. These were policies that made English the standard language to be spoken. Languages such as Bhojpuri and Awadhi, spoken by my ancestors, were not allowed in workplaces and schools, and even missionary schools denigrated these languages as being uncivilized. Many people have asked me why I choose to keep my name Sean. To be honest, it's a memory of my past, of what my ancestors endured. And while today I choose to give my own kids Hindu names, I left my name the way it was given to me. Lord Macaulay, a British official, advocated for English to be the superior language, diminishing the worth of Indian languages and literature. This colonial mindset fostered a belief that Indian history had little value compared to that of the colonizers, and this had a lasting impact on how we viewed our own history. So how did this play out in the Hindu diaspora? Today, many are unaware of the history of Hinduism in the Caribbean, Mauritius, and Fiji, and it's a silence that is rooted in what is known as collective amnesia. This is where a group seems to forget significant parts of their past. And there's many reasons why this happened. Harsh working conditions, racism, and social marginalization made these memories painful. Also, many laborers left India due to poverty and famine and even family pressures, so they preferred not to revisit these memories. The trauma of indentureship combined with these hardships led to a resistance to discuss the past. Despite these challenges, Hinduism became a source of resilience. It became a shield against the erosion of their identity. So what exactly did they do? When you meet any Hindu from the Caribbean, I guarantee that at least one member of their family is a singer or a musician. I myself play the dholak and the tabla, My sister is a trained classical singer. So why did this matter? Because singing bhajans and folk songs kept them grounded to their roots. J.H. Collins writes in 1886 about the relationship between Trinidadian Hindus and the Ramayan. It's nevertheless astonishing how familiar the Trinidadian coolies are of their scripture. Even among the humble laborers who till the fields, you may often, in the evening work being done, see and hear a group of coolies crouching down in a semicircle, chanting whole stanzas of the epic poem. When I was 16 years old, we went on a family trip to Trinidad, where my father's family conducted a 7-day Bhagavad Puran. Pujas and readings from the Bhagavad Puran were done 3 times a day for 7 days. But in order to advocate and change the life of Hindus, leaders needed to emerge that fought for the right of Hindus. Who exactly were these visionaries? In 1952 in Trinidad, Bhadase Sagan Maharaj founded the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, uniting Hindus, building Hindu schools, and standardizing the Hindu rituals. His son-in-law, Satnarayan Maharaj, took it over, further fighting for civil rights and making Hinduism a force to be reckoned with. Their work paid off because Hinduism gained ground. Born in 1886 in Guyana, young Bahadur Singh was a second-generation Indian with Indian and Nepalese origins. He was a prominent leader of the Hindu community and founder of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha. He was the first Hindu to be elected in the Legislative Council in British Guyana in 1930, and he served for 23 years, fighting to have Hindu institutions and rights legally recognized under the colonial government. 2 areas that Hindus fought for was the right to marry under Hindu rights and the right to cremate their dead. Did you know that the first cremation in Trinidad happened in a garbage dump? As I mentioned earlier, indentureship was a contract, and these contracts lasted for 5 or 10 years. So what happened after these contracts were up? British colonial masters needed to bring them back to India, but they opted to offer them land instead because they didn't want to pay their passage back to India. So what did my ancestors do? They opted to stay in their country of residence, forever severing their ties with their homeland. If I could speak to my ancestors today, I would tell them that their struggles and sacrifice, it didn't go in vain. I know they would be happy to see that the way of life that they wanted to preserve survived for hundreds of years. And you know what? Every time I teach my children a mantra or celebrate any one of our Hindu festivals, I feel their presence guiding me forward. They would be happy to know that even though we lost the language, Hinduism survived. They would be happy to know that no matter where Hindus went and settled, they built temples and worked towards preserving the Hindu identity. While this is my history, it's a story that is shared with Hindus around the world. We are the last of a living ancient civilization, and together we need to continue to work to preserve our Hindu identity. Thank you once again for watching. Please share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Om Shanti.